What do you do about a 6-month-old puppy snapping at me if I correct him? For instance, if I stop him chasing the cat or I put him in his crate and he doesn't want to go, but I need to do something and cannot supervise him. He growls and snaps as I'm closing the door. Well, there are a couple things you can do. First of all, you need to kind of persevere and go through this because the dog is a little a puppy, a little dog. It's just like a little child is going to try to, say things or do things that are not normal. It's your job to teach the dog what's normal, what's acceptable, and what's not. Now, if you make a big deal out of it and you're a bully or a thug and you beat up the dog for that, then it just teaches the dog that behavior, his suspicion, his acting out is going to be met with the same, and he'll probably just keep rising up to become worse, or he will just cower and become a complete mess. So I don't make a big deal out of it, right? I just kind of, if I grab the puppy and he starts biting at me, I just kind of go, hey, knock it off. I don't escalate the behavior with a puppy, because most of the time puppies are not being aggressive. Puppies are just being playful and trying to look for what gets a reaction out of you. That's the puppy's job in trying to figure out survival skills, is what elicits what from the other person, whether it's another dog, a person, a cat, or whatever it might be. So my suggestion to you is act like it's nothing, like it doesn't faze you. Don't back away from it because it shows the dog that he's winning. Don't rise up and try to crush the puppy because that's not a good message for the puppy either. Just move past it like it's nothing. Hey, get inside. And he growls at you. Hey, knock it off. Get inside. It's not a big deal. Make it not a big deal and it won't be a big deal. And that's my solution. It's possible to train a puppy 1.5 months old to crate training. So you're asking if you can train a 1.5-month-old dog for crate training, and the answer to that question is 100% yes. It's always better to start early with a puppy when you first bring the puppy home to get the puppy used to being in a crate, make the crate a very positive experience. The crate should be a good thing. It should never be a bad thing. I try not to let dogs out of the crate when they're crying. I try to let them work through it and see that, because if you let them out every time when they cry, you end up with a dog that will always think that this is a bad thing. I cry, I get out, and everybody holds me and makes a big deal out of me when I get out. I've got tons of videos on crate training on my YouTube channel as well as my website on robertcabral.com that you can check out that will give you proper techniques to introduce the crate in a really positive and sane way and to keep the dog engaged in it in a positive way. You'll need to work through some things with some dogs. Some dogs will love the crate immediately, some dogs won't. And there are the very, very rare dogs that just cannot be in a crate because of some kind of an emotional abuse or a mental issue, but that is the smallest percentage of dogs around. Introducing it properly, making it a positive experience, getting the dog to be happy to be in the crate, rewarding the dog in the crate, making a big deal about the dog when he's in the crate and not a big deal when they're out of the crate is the key to getting the dog to understanding it and to enjoying it. Alex asks, I want to start teaching my puppy the place command. It is a mistake to use voraus. You're asking, is it a mistake to use voraus as a command for both place and the voraus command, as it is used in IPO. Will this command confuse the dog? Should I use two different commands? So the voraus command, which is very similar to a go-to command, you're asking your dog to go to a place. Voraus means go out. And in AKC they use the go touch or go to the point where you're running to command, which is a send away with a sit. In IPO, IGP, it's a send away with a down. I would not use voraus as a place command. I would not. I would use place as a place command and voraus as a voraus command because they're very, very different in the dog's eyes. What you're teaching your dog with the voraus is to keep running until you see something or until you hear me say stop. Right? We're getting the dog to focus on something and they believe there's something there and they will run a straight line until they get it. The place command, we're asking the dog to go to a place that he sees or knows exactly where it is and kind of park himself there, to chill out there. So very, very different commands, very, very different applications. Very good question, because in a sense you're in both situations using the idea of the dog to go to a place, but the idea of it and the execution is quite different. So I would not do that. Somebody might differ with me, but I would probably say that would be incorrect. But I would not use that. Made some mistakes teaching without marking with English commands. 5-month-old German Shepherd. Can I start over with German commands, or will that cause confusion? Thank you. It will not cause confusion to change a language for your dog, especially if you do it clearly and concisely. You just start doing it and move forward with it. Dogs really learn well. Dogs don't really have an issue with change as much as we do. I mean, I hate change. I'm very, very bad at it. But I've had dogs that I've started working with that were trained by another trainer, another system, another methodology, and the dog adapts very well. Dogs are very adaptive creatures, which is how they've survived. So changing a language, changing a routine, or even a technique of training is not a big deal. You'll make a bigger deal out of it. Just continue and work and work. And I even see here with my dogs, like if I'm training my dogs, which my dogs are all trained in German, Janet did not train her dogs in German. Obviously, she doesn't speak German. But her dogs now start to listen to the German because they hear it and they see the other dogs doing it. They get rewards for doing it. So they pick up on it really easy. Dog training is really, really simple. It doesn't take a lot to do it. Make it easy, make it fun, and your dog will have a great time, I promise. Got a question? Ask me anything. Also, check out my website, robertcabral.com, for the best online dog training available anywhere.